Right, I'm back. I'm sorry about that. The needle had snapped, and when the needle snaps in this machine, because it's a loading from this way underneath, you really have to go and find that bit that snapped off inside. I'm lucky enough I found it, so I've got it up and running again. So yeah, I've never had a needle snap on this machine, but because I know it's like an industrial sewing machine where it loads in at this angle here rather than even at the front or on the top, you really do have to go and find it and take it apart a bit. Right, so I'm just carrying on top stitching all the way around, taking it nice and steady. Now I know my top stitching's a bit off, but it's for me. Make sure that zip bridge isn't getting in any of the way when you're top stitching either. Make sure that zip's out of the way. Don't want that zip end getting caught up. Last corner, last bit. Yay! Yep, that's perfect. Right, let's trim off those pieces of thread, and then I'll go to the overhead camera. So I just started just slightly over where I finished off at a neat before the needle snapped around about here, so I just slightly unpicked it and then just went back over those stitch lines. Right, go to the overhead camera. Michael, please make it to the overhead camera. He's not here. Right, just poking that out. Right, so it should be sewn all the way around. Now if you've got your O-ring snaps on, feed on your O-ring, and then basically top stitch across that tab. So it should be like this, obviously neat and pressed and top stitch. So it should be sticking up like this. Feed your O-ring on, either add a rivet here if you want to, or top stitch along that. That's up to you. Right, so we've got two gaps at the moment. We've got the gap that's on the bottom layer, which is inside here. I'm not going to touch that one at the moment because we are going to add in your base. Let's get rid of some of this stuff. Now, I add plastic base in, but this bag actually really doesn't need it. If you've used Decaville Heavy on the bottom, like I suggest, you really don't need it. However, I like it to be quite sturdy. So the plastic base that I sell is great, but I like it a bit more stiffer. So I go ahead and get some cheap duct tape or electronic tape and cover the whole thing in this tape. It just makes it a bit more stiffer, and makes it a bit more stiffer for the bag. You don't have to do this, but this is an extra step. And like you see, I've got creases on it. I don't mind that. It adds to the stiffness of the base. Okay, so I've got that on there. Now we need some wide double-sided sticky tape. Now this doesn't have to be sewing machine friendly because it's not going to be sewn over or anything. So I'm just going to run 2 rows of double-sided sticky tape on one of the sides. And by doing this, once we peel off the backing, it means that it sticks into place and it won't move around. So peel off that backing. So, right, so we're not going through the pocket lining, we're going through the pocket, the base lining. We're just going to pull that up and you'll be able to see your base. Make sure it's all poked out before we go ahead and do this next bit. So we're sticking it into place. Okay. And you're just going to pop the sticky side down onto the base inside. I'm trying my hardest not to stick it down until I've got it into those corners correctly. Then I will go ahead and stick it down. Yeah, that's in place. I'm going ahead and stick that down. And what that does is poke out this edge here, makes it nice and flat and crisp. If you don't have a plastic base, you can use those cheap placemats that you get for kids. They're like £1 or something. You can cut 2 of those, stick two shapes, 2 base shapes out, stick those together, and then do the gaffer tape. I used to do that, however, it got a bit tedious having to trace it out twice and stick 2 pieces together. and for speed I just do the base that I've just showed you. Okay. So I'm just getting myself a bit clear. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is close up those 2 turning gaps. So the first one we're going to do is pop this base back inside, like so. Make sure it's nice and crisp. You're going to open up that zip pocket, go through that gap and bring that base outside of that zip pocket. So I'm coming out of the zip pocket lining now, guys. I'm not coming through the base lining, because as you can see that's the gap I left on the base, and here's my pocket lining. We are now going to just clip this around this edge. Like so. And we're just going to finish closing up this bag lining from where we left off here to where we finished or started off. Make sure you reverse your stitch at the start and at the end. I'm going to use stitch length 2.4 and use the 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Right, so I've now done that. I'm going to poke that back through that pocket lining here and poke it back in. I'm going to poke that pocket lining back in for now, and then just straighten up that base lining so it's nice and flat at the bottom of the bag, which that is. Then we're going to pull out those 2 pocket lining pieces, keeping those 2 folds. And we're going to clip along this edge here. So, then you're just going to top stitch 3/8 of an inch away from the edge, reverse your stitch at the start and at the end. Oi! Sorry about that. There's no Michael. I'll try and cut that out. And you're going to use the stitch length 2.5 or number 3. You're just basically closing up that pocket so nothing can fall through. Okay, so I've gone ahead and sewed that. We're going to pop that back inside that zip pocket. And you know those creases I was talking about before when I was putting in the zip? They're starting to drop out now, so with room temperature they will drop out. Okay, close up that zip compartment, push that down, and you should have a finished bag, outer bag. So that's your finished outer bag. Personally, I will go ahead and stuff that myself. I've left a gap here because I have small brollies, and the whole point of having a gap here or here is so I can pop my brolly in upright rather than putting it on this part here. It's personal choice, really is personal choice. So the next step is you will make your shoulder strap, which we already have done here, and you'll make your crossbody strap. Now your crossbody strap, you will need to go over to the YouTube channel and basically follow the YouTube tutorial on how to make a crossbody strap, because it's generally the same. Just get the screws for these buckles. Yep. Okay, so we've already attached these. I will go ahead and pop some rivets in there after this bag is complete and I've finished filming. Let's get rid of that because that's annoying. Okay, so this edge here, which is the it's got like an etching all on it, is what we class the wrong side of these buckles. That needs to go on the inside of here, so we're just going to pop that over the top there and there, so we can get that one on. Okay. Right, so the first thing we need to do is get the solvent glue. We're going to work on one side first. So I'm going to work on this side first. Get the solvent glue and you're going to run it inside that canal and down the flatter edge that hasn't got the screw sides. And let that go a bit tacky. While we'll do that, I'll get the screws prepared and the screwdriver out. I think that will fit it. I'm just going to let that go a bit more tackier before we go ahead and do anything. So basically I ran solvent glue down the bottom bit there, and then where this part is of the, where the D-ring part is, I run solvent glue on that side. Just mop up any. The reason why I didn't do any solvent glue on this side is because I don't want to struggle getting the screws into place. I'm going to pop that into place, pushing it all the way down as far as it will go. Now, if it's not going all the way down like it has on the one side, it hasn't on the other. I'm just going to get my tailor's awl in, into that hole, and just push it up. There you go. It's proper up to the top, and I'll just do that one as well. So that's into place. I'm going to get one of the screws. Now they're longer screws than normal, just slightly longer, and you're going to screw that into place and really get that in so it's tight and it's into place. Do it with the other one. Okay, so that's that one done. I'm going to put some glue in this one now. let that go a bit tacky. So while that's doing that, I'm just going to grab a drink. Okay, so the etched side with the screw side is the inside of the bag, and pop that into place. So flip that around and make sure it's touching the edge. It isn't touching the edge on this one side, so I'm just going to get that Taylorsall in and boot it up to the top of that channel. And then we're going to pop the screw in. Nice and tightly. And this one as well. Now, normally with the other items, i.e. the zip end, the screw sits flat to the back. Not the case with these anchors. The screws actually go really deep in. That one's tight now. They go deep in. That's just for your benefit to oh, there's a bit of glue coming out there. To make sure it's definitely in place. Just let me get that glue off. I hate this glue. I hate it. Okay. And there you have your finished bag. Now with your shoulder straps, you will just basically, if you've used these, you will just clip it to these D-rings. If you are making the O-ring finish with the snap O-rings, the good thing about the snap O-rings is if you do not want to have this on one day and just have it as a crossbody strap, just attach the crossbody strap to the O-rings and unsnap the O-ring and feed this strap off, and then just pop it into one of the pockets in the bag. And there you have it. You have a finished bag. Make sure that glue really goes off before you go ahead and use it. You might want to put some super glue on where the two screws go in on either of those if you've used this as well. But yeah, I'm not going to put this on or fill it up because I need those to basically dry. They take about 72 hours to dry, see, so for that type of glue to really set. So thanks ever so much for joining me. Maybe not live, but yeah, like I explained to you at the start, if this ever occurs again, it will be pre-recorded and put up into the group, so you guys are not missing out on any of the weeks. That was one of my promises to you, that you still get number 3 sew alongs a month. Thanks ever so much, and next week, Tuesday the, I don't know, I'm going Tuesday the right, Tuesday the 12th will be the next sew along, which will be the what do you call it, the bears. So we'll be starting to make these. I'm going to just do a small one. The pre-order is now going to be back open as of tomorrow, because I did order a lot more than what needed from the last round. On the 19th there will be no there'll be no Facebook Live, but you'll be able to see me on Sewing Street making those bears and this bag. And then I'll be back live here in the group on the 26th. And then if I need to finish off the bear, I'll be doing a pre-recording and uploading that for November, because I'm away in November. Yeah, like I say, I've got a busy schedule and I need to stick to it, unfortunately. Have a lovely day, and I'm so sorry I've had to put in a pre-recording. Yay! See you soon. Bye.